Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the BillyJoe Podcast. My name is Billy.
I'm Joe.
Guys, good to have you back for another week. Just want to give a big shout out to all our sponsors that you see coming up on the screen right now. And also to our partners, mic'd up, to Dan and Andrew and everyone and the crew. And mic'd up, thank you very much, guys, for sticking by us and progressing us forward in our journey. Now, Joseph, how are we?
William, you well?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Can't go big one today.
I'm excited for this one.
Mate, without further ado, guys, we do have another amazing guest this week. This beautiful lady has been a pioneer to the Lebanese community, broken the status quo, gone against the grain for the right reasons. I'm not going to blabble on too much, but Miss Antoinette Lattouf, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so impressed that you guys have a bunch of sponsors already. You're 8 months in, you got all these sponsors, hooked up. I love it.
Yeah.
The area, it's working.
100%.
Crazy. Yeah, we're grateful. We're truly grateful. It's
awesome.
it's been quite an amazing journey the last 8 months.
Great.
Didn't expect to be where we are today, Joey.
No, it just shows, consistency
Yeah.
is key. We've just been putting in the hard yards week in, week out.
And also just doing something different.
Yeah.
Like doing something different, especially as Leb guys from the area. So many are such good, small businessmen, tradespeople, great. But just doing something that a lot of people may go, hey, what's that? Like, get a real job.
100%.
That's familiar.
You know what? And we've laughed and we've cried.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not something that our area is used to.
Yeah.
But that is the barrier that we do want to break.
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of breaking barriers,
Yes.
I want to talk about Antoinette Lattouf,
Yeah.
pre and post the Lattouf surname,
Yeah.
because Danny, as we were talking outside, is a very good friend of my brother's. I actually grew up, I was a little kid, they're about 6-7 years older than me.
Yeah, so Danny's my husband.
Yeah, Danny Lattouf is Antoinette's husband. I remember him being a basketball superstar,
Yeah.
right? So he was like the Michael Jordan of the school.
Gun?
Gun.
Still plays, yeah?
Yeah, he still does. Yeah.
He does. He
Yeah.
plays till now.
Yeah, he does.
Wow. Yeah, so
I can't play Oztag anymore, bro.
what do you mean, cuz?
Don't get me wrong, he's done his MCL.
Oh, has he? Oh,
Yeah, he's done it all.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
As you do,
I feel better now.
as you grow older.
Yeah.
Breaking barriers, at what age did you know or you thought, right, I want to be a journalist?
Honestly, I was about 6 or 7. So I was in primary school
Really?
and I just loved to read and I love to tell stories and I love to write. My mum always, and my brothers and sisters remind me, I'm one of 7. I'm the 5th.
Oh, wow.
And we always had our cousins and everyone over. We lived in a fibro house in Guildford in Western Sydney. And the neighbours, our house was like, Shirha HQ, everyone was over.
Yeah.
And I was in the backyard with a book, always I'd pick an encyclopedia. It was a really big deal to have the World Book, the whole set of encyclopedias.
Yes.
It was a big deal. My mum had to, took ages for her to pay it off. And I would just grab K and be reading about Martin Luther King. And and that's what I did for fun. I just read encyclopedias.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
from a young age, I just loved information. I loved history. I loved politics and I loved storytelling. So, and I would tell my family that my dad was a shepherd. He came as a refugee from Lebanon, from the north, and he was pulled out of school as a really young kid and he worked as a shepherd. So for him to be I want to be a journalist, he's like, what? Get married.
100%.
They're all the same, mate. They're all the same.
I love my dad. He's the best. I'm haver of problematic views, but the biggest heart. He's the best.
How proud is he of you?
Now he is.
Yeah.
Now he is. For a while he was worried because he was like, Antoinette. Oh, my poor dad.
You could do it.
I'm going to do it. Education ruins the woman, Antoinette, So I used to be discouraged from continuing my studies. He was just worried that nobody would ever marry me. And so, now, he sees what I do and he, would watch me or listen to me and be like, hey, Dibin, this is my daughter, So he's proud
Amazing.
now. He's proud.
Did you have someone you looked up to, whether it was a news reporter or
No, there weren't any role models. I guess that was the thing for us. If you're not or if you're not white or, from a private school or from a rich suburb where your dad knows somebody or golfs with somebody, as if we knew anybody like that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any role models.
Wow.
Not much journalists come out of Guildford anyway. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Look, the news comes out of Guildford.
I tell you how much I would come back, to the point that when I was working in commercial TV, I used to work at Channel 10 and I was the crime reporter. Well, you started at the 4 a.m. shift, and it generally meant that you either went to the airport or you went to a crime scene because you were early and first. And all of the cameramen that I worked with would get to know Mum. My parents were living in Maryland still at the time. And because we would go there for breakfast, for lunch, or we'd go to one of my auntie's house because we'd always be at a crime scene.
Moved in there, bro.
We've always been at a crime scene a couple of streets away.
That's crazy.
No place like home, baby.
Yeah.
And then when I met my husband and his family's from Greenacre in the southwest, again, then I'm at my mother-in-law's house. And so,
That's awesome, man.
Popped it from both ends.
100%.
yeah.
So, talk to us. What school did you go to?
Yeah.
And talk to us about uni life.
Yeah, sure. So I went to a public school, Guildford West, in Western Sydney. My parents really had no money, and there were 7 of us. So public school was what it was. Secondhand uniforms was what it was.
Yeah.
Then I went to the local high school, Maryland's High, which is probably most known for graduating the Ibrahims. I don't know how many people graduated from them.
They should go up down the road.
Yeah, there was a bit of a pipeline from Maryland's High to Silverwater Jail. So and so I left in year 11 because I was like, no, I need to get a high UAI. Or TER, whatever it was called at that stage. Yeah. And I knew I wasn't going to get it at that school. And so because my parents can't read or write English, a couple of words, I actually enrolled myself into another school. I just told my mum, sign this paper. And she signed it.
Oh,
and I enrolled myself into another school. I photocopied, went to Maryland's library, photocopied my report to show that, I was, an uber nerd. And I got into a selective school. And so I went to a selective school for year 11 and 12, and I got the marks I needed to get to the UTS, which was at the time the best university for journalism and politics. Yeah, and then I started it at uni. So.
No, that it sounds like you obviously knew what you wanted at a very young age.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I actually grew up 2 streets from Maryland's High. Mum still lives there. Anyway, that's beside the point. Did you ever feel sorry for yourself, or did you ever put yourself down oh shit, man, I'm here, I want to be there? Do you feel any pressures early, in regards to your education and getting to where you need to be?
I guess the thing, unlike maybe some other families, or I didn't have any pressure put on me. Any pressure is I put it on myself.
That's
if anything, my dad was aim lower,
It's so true, bro.
This is, you know what, you're saying it in such a hilarious way, but the truth behind it is crazy.
Yeah. And I get, and I don't hold anything against, my dad was a product of his time and his upbringing, and I love him to death, and he's changed and evolved or whatever, but that's
what it was.
100.
So that's what he knew. And he was a refugee, and he came when he was 18 or 17 without his parents, and he got pulled out of school when he was 9, and he worked with goats and sheep, and so love my dad. So I guess because I didn't have any pressure externally, it was only what I wanted to do. So I was my biggest harshest critic.
Yep.
And I guess I just accepted that things were hard. They were hard. We were poor. I was the 5th of 7. It was hard to get the food on the table. You have to fight to get the let me that you want. So I just
You knew that early.
I knew that from a young I knew it was hard, and it was just the way it was.
So from there, your first gig is Channel 10.
No, my first gig was SBS actually.
Oh,
so
it
my
was?
first,
Okay.
So my first gig was SBS.
Is this while you're at uni?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I got a job while I was at uni, and that's where I met a couple of other, Lebo girls from the area who are still my bestest friends and in the media. Yara Bubilham, who's a documentary maker, and Jeanette Francis, who now I have a business with. And we were the 3, we flocked to each other because we're studying the same thing. They were from, Yara's from Guildford, Jan's from Condell Park. So anyway, we all started our careers at SBS at the same time.
Okay.
And Carol Ayoub also, she was from Belmore. So we were the first generation of sort of Lebanese women who were grew up around, September 11 and the Cronulla riots and, all the bullshit around Lebs in the media. And we wanted to be a part of kind of changing that and being like, you know what, we're not that stereotype.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's so much like beautiful culture and so much talent and so much to be proud of. We just grew up being made to feel ashamed of who we were, and we just wanted to do something about it.
Challenges came at
Yes.
SBS.
Yeah, I guess it was it's my first friggin' job, and I was so grateful. I remember I used to catch the train from Marylands and change at the Central and then get a train over to Artarmon. And it was such a big deal for someone like me to get a job at a network. I was so happy to be there. I guess what I didn't realize at the time was, even though it's meant to be the multicultural broadcaster, it's meant to tell, our stories and whatever, that all the people, like the presenters, the producers, all the bosses were still white people. This is the multicultural broadcaster. And there was one particular presenter who was horrible to me, horrible to the point that even I caught up with someone I worked with back then. It's years now. It's like 15 or so years ago. And they like, I still remember how you got treated.
Oh, wow.
Still remember how you got treated by that presenter. And yeah, I just copped it, and I don't think they liked, who I was or what my views were, where I came from, the whole thing. I just got treated like shit.
Can you talk about the treatment? Like an example of what she used to do?
It was just exclusion, like things like I would get put down. If ever I made any mistake, even if it was tiny, I'd get just kind of blasted in front of everybody and made an example of. Even though I was really young and it was my first job, I did really well. And the better I got at my job, the worse the treatment became. Everybody would be invited out for lunch, so she'd go around and go, come on, let's go. And then just like Mean Girl, like just leave me at my desk.
Yeah.
She'd complain about me. She tried to undermine me to get me either reprimanded or pushed out. It just became, she couldn't stand the sight of me, wouldn't say hello to me. Would just make comments about like you people. I'm like, what people? What are you talking about?
Wow.
Whoa.
But I'm really young. I'm quite young at this, even though and I do remember actually when I resigned, because I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm 22 at this stage. What am I going to do? This is, I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
And I remember when she's like, don't you, and I pushed back on something, and she was like, don't you speak to me like that. And I was like, you know what? You're on your way out. I'm on my way up. And I don't think you can handle that. And then I left. I was thinking, even back then I would fight. Even back then I would fight. Don't get me wrong, it was like anxiety inducing, and I was made to feel like, what did you mean by you people? And why am I getting excluded by things? Why am I being blasted in front of everybody? And it's just like, well, I think she just got what she wanted because I ended up leaving.
Wow. I remember seeing a clip. I think it was Channel 9 afternoon. They used to do like a panel.
Yeah.
Like some sort of debate with someone.
Yeah.
And the presenter, and so she didn't know the cameras were rolling.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right? So the presenter was there. Then they had this young girl that was jumping on. You can tell she's working her way up.
Yeah.
And the presenter goes to her, I told you not to wear a white jacket.
Oh, yeah, everybody, yes. It's become known as Jacket Gate because they were both wearing white jackets.
Yeah.
And the way she spoke to her.
That was mind-blowing, Antoinette.
Yeah, imagine that times 10 is what I
So
experienced.
that's what you... Wow.
So much. It was so bad.
Wow.
That's sick, bro. Sickening.
Yeah, it was gross.
So it's cutthroat.
Very.
This industry is cutthroat.
It's competitive. It's competitive. Yeah. It's cutthroat. They know that you can be, if you don't want that job, there are a whole bunch of other people who do want that job.
Yeah.
And in so many ways, it's a privilege. You get to meet people and do things and interview and learn and travel. Like, I understand why people want the job, or at least, back then when there was a bit more, maybe like, I don't know, respect. Like when I used to do the 5 o'clock news on Channel 10, it was a big deal. People were still sitting down and watching. To be on there, they had good numbers. Over 1 million people would watch. It was where you got most of your news. It was before Instagram and TikTok and stuff took off. So there was a certain amount of prestige to having something like that. And, to being a Leb girl from Marylands, it was like it felt important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember when Antoinette first hit the scene at Channel 10.
Yeah.
Right? So it was 5 o'clock news. My old man, God rest his soul, was massive on the news.
Yeah.
Wouldn't miss it, right? So then when Antoinette popped up, I was sitting next to him. He goes, Joe, Lattouf.
Yeah.
She's Lebanese. They looked at her, goes, Min Baye. I don't know her. I can't tell you that. But you could tell he was proud.
Yeah.
Because he was and if anyone has been following my journey, they'll know, like, there's a lot of posts about my dad's newspaper. So he'll subscribe to the Daily Telegraph.
Yeah.
Would not miss the paper from Monday to Sunday.
Okay, but that's like a terrible newspaper.
I understand.
Yeah, but
right?
I get that. My father-in-law's a taxi driver, and he did that, for years. It was like a ritual.
That's what they knew, right? But more so, the tab form.
Oh,
right?
fair enough. As long as he was
So,
there.
yeah, he would get to the tab form, which was his favourite part.
Inside the Sydney Confidential.
Yeah.
So your mum's thinking is ready.
That's but he was massive on the news.
Yeah.
That was his thing. The news, the newspaper. So when you popped up, you could see he was didn't know you.
Yeah.
Doesn't know your family. But it made him proud.
Yeah, and that's the thing about seeing and hearing people from your communities, which is so important, which is why I'm so glad you guys are doing this podcast, because we've lived here for so long, like the Lebanese community more specifically, how many generations? And firstly, those who came here either changed their names to try to anglicize themselves, distance themselves from who they are.
Yes.
And then we have this big influx post, 1970s Civil War, where this big community of immense talent and culture, and we're just told to either like shut the fuck up. Sorry. If you
No.
We're told
I'm
to
sorry.
shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
or that we're a problem, or that we are criminals, or that we are this, or that we are that, and it flattens who we are, and it's just not true. And so, that's why. So when you finally see someone, or you recognize a name, or you hear a voice, and you're like, oh man, that speaks to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny that we're on this topic because in one of our very first episodes, dating back about 8 months ago, I joked about something saying the area mentality. It's all, we should be conditioned to be doing certain things like building duplexes or building homes as Lebanese men and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what my brothers are doing, carpenter, builders, my brothers.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But the moment you go against the grain, like especially when we first started putting ourselves out there, because look at me and Joey, we're not white.
Yeah.
And respect. Heads for the radio.
Heads for radio.
Not for YouTube.
Well, exactly right. We're not white. We're actual typical area boys. Now, the reason we started this is that on face value, looking at us, you'd probably think, oh, here we go. Back to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look at these Lebos. Typical Lebos, the way they talk, the way they act, the way they perceive things. But in hindsight, no.
We don't want to change. We actually don't want to change it.
Yeah.
I've actually, as I've mentioned before, I've gone to a coach for my English.
Yeah.
Just to be able to get the ums and the R's out, right?
Look, you'll hear in my voice, because I've been in broadcast for so long, I don't sound like a girl from Maryland.
No, you don't. No, absolutely not.
You know what I mean? And so I guess that's part of, fitting in or getting in, especially getting into commercial TV. I started to do news reports where I would sound like this, because that's what news reporters do.
Wow.
I'm standing here at the corner of, and there's a crime scene that's unfolding and 100 police, blah, 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 and we can all do this. And then at one point I was like, what the hell am I doing? I sound like...
Sandra Sully?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You in so many ways you were encouraged to look and sound like a particular thing. And at one point you go, you know what, I'm not that. I'm never gonna be that. But still, within my elocution and my words, I can't overpronounce. And some people are like, you don't sound Lebanese. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Because only Lebs from Para and Greenacre sound like this. If you go, I went and lived in Lebanon, and they don't fucking sound like this.
Absolutely.
It's so weird seeing it in the flesh, bro, like a news reporter voice.
Yeah, that voice that's crazy. That's crazy.
Swear
to God. So you go to Channel 10. How was your time at Channel 10?
I had a really great time. They were, again, it was at a time when the evening news was still a big thing. I was, the fast pace, doing live, doing crime, and I had my first daughter, about a year or so after being there, because I was newly married. And again, a lot of people in my industry looked at me and they were like, oh man, like, what are you doing having a baby? Like, I was 27. This is kind of career suicide, while you're having a baby so young. It's not that young, because by now my mom's like, by 27, I had 5 of you.
They're all the same, bro. They're the same.
I swear. So but in the industry, it's like, you're having a baby, so you've got this job, what are you doing? And then I had my second a couple of years later. And so 10 was really good in that I was able to do my story by 5, finish by 5, get home. It worked with my family life.
Yeah.
And it was exciting, and it got to do lots of different things, still be kind of contained. Contained in still being able to be a wife and a mother and stuff. So it worked. It served its purpose and lots of really good people.
It wasn't always roses for you, Antoinette.
No.
So at 31,
Yeah.
it's your third child?
No, it's my second.
It's your second child.
Second child, yes.
Talk to us. So
Yeah.
you talk about 10 being flexible.
Yeah.
You were fine throughout the pregnancy?
No, so towards the end of the pregnancy, and I don't know if you remember, I think I had just left 10 then, or maybe I had gone to SBS, because there was a time where, anyway, I went between the networks, and I was heavily pregnant, and it was the Martin Place siege. Do you remember the
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, the Lint Factory.
Yeah, the Lint Cafe.
Yeah.
Cafe, sorry.
The Lint Cafe, and I was like maybe 7 or 8 months pregnant, and I started to not feel well, like I was having trouble sleeping at night and having a bit of anxiety. And then, I don't know, I was on my feet all day, we had no idea what was going on. Like I remember when I reversed out of home that day, I was like, I hope they just keep me at the office. I'm tired, I'm fat, I've got cankles, I'm done.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're like, just go to the city. They think it's a bomb scare, it's probably nothing. And so I go there and end up staying there for like 12 hours.
Wow.
And it's horrible, and people died. And anyway, it was horrible. And I think and I just kept going.
Did you stay there till 2, 3 a.m.
No,
when it ended?
I was too tired.
Yeah.
I ended up being like, come on, someone relieve me.
No, you can't.
So
No way.
I think I did 12 hours from 9 till 9. And then I was like, I got to go. And I was actually, to be honest, a bit worried about safety. And I'm like, I'm pregnant. I got to be a bit responsible.
Yeah.
So I left. And from then I started to have the insomnia, the panic attacks, the feelings of dread. I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I feeling this? I've already got a beautiful daughter, and I'm about to have another child. And then I guess and I knew something wasn't right. So I went to the doctors. And so he diagnosed me perinatal. So perinatal is the period before and after. So it wasn't post. I hadn't had the baby yet.
Wow, okay.
I was about 36 weeks pregnant, and I just dread of having this baby, which is awful. Could you just imagine actually saying that out loud?
Yeah.
I dread having this baby. And of course I couldn't tell my parents, because they were like, what do you mean? And so it was, I guess when I really felt it was when I gave birth to her, natural birth, no complications, everything was fine. And when they handed her to me, I felt nothing. And I immediately handed her to my husband. I didn't want to hold her, which as a mother is the guilt you feel and the shame. And my husband didn't not clock it quite then what was going on, but I just handed her I made an excuse and I handed her to him, and it sounds completely insane, and I guess it is a form of insanity, how it took over me. I tried to escape the hospital the next day. So the nurse found, I think I was already on their radar as that chick's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she's not okay. And I know I'm using those words.
No, respect.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but they're like, thankfully I was on their radar, because a mental health nurse came. She came to check on me, and I had my little, the little thing that you have that's attached to you.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find an exit. I was like, I felt so.
You were walking.
No, I was trying to leave.
Oh.
I was trying to find somewhere to get out of the building, because I felt this panic, this dread, like I can't do this. What is this? And I felt no connection, which is horrible, because they say, they give you a baby and you feel this immense love. And I'm like, I didn't feel that. I did not feel that. And then things just got progressively worse. I continued to not sleep. I continued to panic. I continued to not feel a connection. I continued to lose immense amounts of weight. I was probably the skinniest postpartum person you've ever seen. People would look at me and go, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, being very depressed is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Insomnia and anxiety.
Great diet.
Yeah, it was horrible. And so it was when I started having suicidal, I kept thinking about the ways the baby could die and the way I could die and the way we could die together. And I was like, oh, this is not. And I had done so many stories on depression, and I was quite my mental health literacy was pretty high. And in my head, I'm ticking them off. I'm like, I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating, I'm not showering, I'm thinking of dying, I'm thinking of harm. And so I called a hotline. I called a mental health hotline, the Panda hotline. It's like for mothers and fathers. And honestly, that woman saved my life, because she stayed on the phone with me. She's like, okay, you need to, get someone to come over. And so I ended up having my mother and my husband and my parents, even though, my gosh, my dad, can I please tell you what my dad said when he came over? So when he finds out that I'm not okay, Mum doesn't know what to do.
So you've called them over.
I've called them over. That's in the first instance because I needed to not be by myself. Because when you have those thoughts, you can't.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the safety of the child.
So does Danny know by
knows,
now?
Yeah, Danny knows by now that I'm not okay by the way I'm acting, but just not. By then I'm still hiding the darkest thoughts because I'm ashamed of them.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed of this is not the woman he married.
Yeah.
He became like another person. He just started a new job and and so I called my parents pretty much like just to watch me. And then I got an official diagnosis from a psychiatrist and I went on medication. There was so much kind of taboo about going on medication. Like, why would you do that? Stop it. Which meant I had to stop breastfeeding, more taboo. And then they would just come and check on me all the time and try and feed me because, again, I was getting skinnier and skinnier. And my mum would just clean. So if she could cook and clean, that I would feel better. And
that would solve everything,
and it just made me more anxious. My dad's like, somebody is sick, but not in their body. And I was like, like that is the worst.
Sorry to laugh.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You have to laugh. Like,
I don't know. They don't know
I love
me.
my dad, but have it like the most problematic views in the planet. He didn't know what to do. He was so worried.
Yeah.
So he would just bring me figs and bring me every fruit and vegetable he could think of.
Yeah, bro.
But it was really hard. And my husband would get up, God love him, through the night and do the feeds because by then I'm in a separate room and I'm sedated at night because I couldn't sleep, so they'd give me sleeping pills. And he'd get up and do the feeds and he didn't complain. He'd get up and do the feeds and then he'd get up and go to work the next day. Can you imagine working a 9 to 7 job or whatever and getting up 4 times? I don't know if you guys have kids.
During the night, absolutely.
So you know the night things and how much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he'd get up and do the night feeds.
What a machine.
And the night, when you say night feeds, the last one's like closer to sunrise.
Yeah.
It's like 4 or 5
4
yeah. At least he did that for at least 3 weeks because I needed for the medication to kick in and for me to sleep. I was on sleeping pills in the other room.
Can I ask you a question, Antoinette? With your firstborn, during this time, was that connection still there?
Yes. I adored her. It was very weird. I loved my husband still because some people feel cut off from their partner as well. I loved my husband. I loved my daughter. She was now 3.
Yeah.
3 or so.
Just the newborn.
The newborn. I think what it was, by then I'm like, now I don't know how to still be a lebo mum who makes mochia and have a career. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do both. Now I have 2 children. My career had started to progress. I still want to be, I still want to be married. So many people in my industry have failed marriages. How do I do it? I don't know how to do it. There's, as you say, no role models. There was no role models in my career, like as in industry, and there were no role models in my life because all of my aunties and that, God bless them, but they had no education and they
just housewives.
They're housewives.
Served their husbands.
Yeah, and honestly, and a lot of time it didn't work out well for them.
Yeah.
They didn't have happy lives. They didn't have lovely husbands, and they were very poor.
Yeah.
So I look at them going, it's not the picture of, like that doesn't look like happiness to me.
Yeah.
And I think all of those combined, I didn't know, but I fought out of it. So with the support of my husband and my family and a psychiatrist and a therapist and everything, medication and everything.
Can you talk about that? Was there a particular day or moment where
something
switched?
started? Yeah, I think when I started to get my appetite back, because anybody who knows me knows I love to eat.
Yeah.
And so when I started to eat, and then slowly the connection with my daughter started to form. Now we're actually arguably closer than my older one. But, it was horrible. And I feel bad because, connection in the first few months is really important. And I didn't probably carry her enough and I didn't hold her.
Don't feel bad, Antoinette, because let me tell you, it's not something you chose to do. And as a mother, you've got runs on the board with your eldest daughter. This is a serious issue.
Yeah.
And it needs to be spoken about, and women need to know you're not on your own, right? It's something normal. And sorry, we talk about men's mental health, but what a woman goes through, what her body goes through, I can tell you that's mental health in itself.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
You can look at it.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens to the mind and the body just by having a baby, let alone the extra stuff. But I think it's like it's 1 in 5 women and 1 in 20 men. Like men go through it, can go through postnatal depression or perinatal depression
really?
and anxiety as well. So I ended up becoming an ambassador for the Gidget Foundation, which focuses on they call it parents' mental health, because I realized, hey, there's men too. Like men experience this too, and obviously it's probably even harder for them to admit it because they're thinking, I'm not the one breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I'm not the one who's So yeah, I think, and especially in our community when it's like have more kids, family, it's everything. And then I felt like, I suck at this part. I suck at this part of being Lebanese because I'm not doing this mum stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a lot of shame. Telling even my mum for ages, she was just like looking at me going, "You got a good husband, you got a nice house, you've only got 2 kids." There's a lot of judgment.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
I got 2 girls, and we almost lost my wife Josie during the second pregnancy.
Oh,
she hemorrhaged.
Oh man.
Eyes rolled into the back of the head.
Oh god.
And just before all that happened, she actually looked at me, and she goes, "Oh, babe, Jesus just came to me."
Oh.
And I'm standing there, I'm going, "Okay, babe, okay." And she goes, "He told me you're a good man. We're having a girl, so my daughter hasn't come out yet. And with both our kids, we didn't find out, right?"
Joe got goosebumps.
So true story, Josie can confirm. She goes, "We're having a girl. I want you to name her Charbella after St. Charbel's.
Okay.
I love you. Look after our girls." That's when baby comes out, blood gushing, eyes back of the head, out. All I remember is a nurse. She runs to the wall and smacks this red button.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. We've seen enough episodes of ER to know that. Yeah.
Sirens are going off. Then 6 doctors, 4 nurses just barge in. They came to give me my daughter. So they're trying to now like distract me, like, "Oh, Mr. Maroon, come this way, come look at your daughter." I go, "Fuck you and fuck my daughter," excuse my French. But in that moment, that was my exact response. What am I going to do with my daughters without my wife?
Yeah.
How good am I going to be? And I'm now scanning the room, because if anyone knows anything about me, in a emergency moment, I'm your cool cat.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Right? So if it's like when Dad, God rest his soul, or Mum, they used to have an episode. So I'd have my sisters screaming, and I'll be like, "Bro, shut the fuck up. You call 000. I'll go down. I'll grab my mum or my dad, put them in a recovery position." I used to take control. So in this moment, my life's flashing before me. I'm thinking my wife's gonna die. She gave me her goodbye message, and I'm scanning. I'm looking at the nurses. There's literally 15 people in this room, and I looked and I saw one doctor, the coolest cat I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
There was fear and terror in every nurse and doctor's face except this one. And I seen her, and she's like, "Get me this, get me that, get me this, get me that." She just got a needle and just went bang into her thigh. Not even a minute later. Takes her gloves off, literally flicked them at the nurse, because this was negligence now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is a long story, Antoinette. Okay. This is for another day. Liverpool Hospital ran out of water the night before.
What do you mean?
Bottled water.
Drinking water.
That'll do, man. So I rock up that morning. My wife rings me. She goes, "Oh, babe, can you get me 6 bottles of water?" I'm going, when someone asks for water, they don't ask for 6. But I'm thinking pregnant chick, or something weird. So I get them. When I saw her, she was just come from a safari walk, or from the Sahara Desert, just dry lips, just dehydrated. Anyway, it was negligence. And the doctor knew, the one that saved my wife's life knew.
Right.
And when she slammed this needle and she knew that she'd got my wife back, she'd solved the problem, takes off her gloves, throws them at the nurse that was looking after my wife. She goes, "Clean this up and you come and see me."
Oh.
Oh, well.
and I knew it was on. But anyway, my wife made a decision, right?
Did you call your daughter Shabella?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've only got the 2 girls now. I'm now starting to say, hey, 3, she's scarred.
Well, that's why I didn't have more.
And I'll never push her, Antoinette, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, her body, right? But also, I was on the other end.
Yeah, because if you lose her next time.
Fuck that, Joey.
Yeah. So,
Well, that's why I haven't. My husband's like knows the impact it had on me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you'll survive it. And what's the point?
what is the point?
What is the point?
You have 2 now?
I have 2. Yeah. I
God
didn't
bless.
have-
Yeah, God bless them, Antoinette. Sorry for the
No.
the
thank you for
rant.
sharing.
Tangents.
But yeah, look, women's mental health is so important. And absolutely the same way men can't be blamed for their deepest, darkest thoughts,
Yeah.
absolutely women can't either.
And that's why I decided to speak about it publicly, because I thought, if you do have a platform, and people were looking at me like post baby, they're like, oh, she has a career and look how thin she is. And I was like, and they're looking at my pictures on social media. I'm like, no, they don't know.
Yeah.
And so I actually felt like a duty, like a responsibility, to be honest. I'm like, well, I'm only this thin because this, and I'm only feel, oh, your husband's so, yeah, he is wonderful, but it's also because he's worried that I'll harm the baby.
100%.
And so I just thought, okay, I've got to do something and be responsible and be honest, which is why I'm open. Because some people are like, oh, Ahab, like, why would you tell people? That's really, like, it's really embarrassing. They tried to escape the hospital. Well, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Antoinette. Let's talk about the ABC.
Yeah, okay.
Now, this made headlines.
Yeah, around the world, man, in all different languages.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Did you do anything wrong?
No. And that's why I fought like hell.
Was the post yours?
No, it was a Human Rights Watch post about starvation being used as a tool of war against Palestinians, which is true. I was sick of seeing my industry act like certain lives don't matter,
Yeah.
certain people's safety don't matter, selectively using readily available facts and information. And so this was December 2023. The attacks of October 23, which then, sparked a widely known genocide. We were 2 months into it. By then, 100 of my journalist Palestinian peers had been killed, some in southern Lebanon as well. 6,000 children had been killed. There was enough evidence. There was intent, genocidal intent by Israeli leaders. They said it. Let's wipe them out. They are human animals. Open air prison. They were bombing southern Lebanon. They had their stated aims in Lebanon as well. There's so much evidence. So much evidence and facts. And in the craft of journalism, you shouldn't ever shy away from the facts just because somebody doesn't like it or because certain political powers or lobbyists don't like it. And so I had been vocal about my concern about human rights, my concern about my journalist peers being killed. And I hold all of those views today. But I was also acutely aware of how certain lives and how Arab lives and Muslim lives in particular are dehumanized. They don't matter. They don't matter. You kill 100, collateral. You kill however many in Lebanon. And if that was to happen to other people, there's absolutely no way that we'd be so indifferent. And so I shared a Human Rights Watch post about starvation. I had been presenting ABC radio as a casual, like as a fill-in, because by then, at that point in my career, I was like kind of freelancing. I had a book and I do this podcast. I had lots of different things. So I was in a good place career-wise where I kind of pick and choose what I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
My career was at its highest point.
Yeah.
I was earning the most I ever earned. I had the most flexibility and control over what I was doing. And so I accepted this role to present a radio program, which wasn't news. It was kind of like talk back callers and play some music, have some segments. It was in the lead up to Christmas. It was very light and fluffy. I wasn't talking about politics. I wasn't talking about the Middle East. But the lobbyists, the pro-Israel lobbyists didn't like me. I was in their site. And there was a WhatsApp group, Lawyers for Israel, which later got leaked. It was part of the court case. They were all working together to have me fired. They had an action of the day, which was make complaint letters. Let's get her gone. Let's complain. Let's this, and let's just put pressure. There was another WhatsApp group. They're the two I know of, and God knows what other actors and players there were that I'm not aware of. They put pressure on the board. All of this came out in court. And management to get rid of me, calling me anti-Semitic, calling me a Holocaust denier, calling me this, calling me that. And I got called into an office and booted out like I was a piece of shit. And I was like, what? I shared a Human Rights Watch post. What are you talking about? Have I done it? And just about an hour or so earlier, my bosses had been praising me in front of an all-staff meeting about how well I'm doing, how the audience is really loving it, the show's sounding great. So in terms of my job, I hadn't done a single thing wrong, and I know I'm good at my job. Do people make mistakes? Yeah, but I didn't make any mistakes.
No first warning, no second warning.
I had been called up and told, not that I had done anything, but just lobbyists don't like that you're on air. Just by me being in the building, like I haven't done anything wrong because they don't like that I'm near a microphone.
Is this before you shared whatever you shared?
Yes, this was on the Monday. I shared it on the Wednesday.
Wow.
They just don't want me near a microphone. And so I know the pro-Israel lobby were onto me. They're like, her. And then she's like, maybe keep a low profile on social media. My manager. I said, listen, if Amnesty International releases a report, I will share it. She's like, that's fair. I said, if another journalist gets killed, like as a journalist, it's incumbent on me to talk about that. She's like, yep, if it's factual, that's fine. Just keep a low profile. She was more like trying to give me a heads up, like, come on, it's unfair, but they're watching you, Antoinette. And in my head, I'm like, that's not fair. Like, why am I being watched? I'm not the one blowing up children.
Yeah,
True.
absolutely.
And I don't care what faith people are. Like, like the majority of the children who were killed, some are Christian, but most are Muslim. Like, I'm not doing it because I'm having some kind of, I'm picking a side because I'm not Muslim. Like,
Yeah.
You're human.
I'm a human and I'm a mother.
Yep.
And I'm just a person who believes in dignity and human rights. And so I knew, so that's more like a heads up, but I'm like, I'm not going to not share starvation because the people who support starving people, I'm not doing that. Like, so I shared the post, but I was very deliberate. Human Rights Watch reports starvation as a tool of war, which the ABC had already reported on twice. So this is a reputable organisation. Anyway, by the time before I even got home, there was a hit piece in The Australian published about me, and I realised they wanted to ruin my career. They were going to ruin my career and also scare anybody else off from daring to state a fact. And I don't know, immediately, maybe because I was just always used to life being hard and unfair, like being bullied in my first job by having to work extra hard to enroll myself in a new school, blah, blah, blah. I fought back through mental illness. I was just like, okay, sometimes shit's hard. So I just decided then and there I would fight back because I knew I did nothing wrong. And then I knew that there was an unfolding genocide. And if we all sat around instead and did nothing, I couldn't live with myself. And so that then became an almost 2-year battle where they fought me and they lied and they lied and they lied. Oh, we didn't fire her. Oh, this didn't happen. Oh, she broke the social media policy. Oh, we don't know what social media policy. Oh, she didn't listen to a directive. There was no directive. My manager got on the stand and said, no, I told Antoinette if it was a reputable source, she could share it. So I think that they just thought that they would exhaust me and they would bully me and they would intimidate me.
Who leaked the WhatsApp group? Do you know?
I mean, someone within it with a conscience. Also there was another one, Jewish creatives and academics, that got leaked too. Someone within it with a conscience leaked it. I mean, one of my lawyers is Jewish. And so I know that supporting atrocities and supporting genocide is not the Jewish faith. It is a political ideology.
Absolutely.
Because my lawyer who stood beside me on the court steps, one was Jewish, one was Italian, one was half Sudanese. There's me, Lebanese, there's an Egyptian. We're all of different Orthodox, Muslim, Jewish, Maronite, and we're all sitting together because we believe in truth and fairness and humanity. And so the reason I fought so hard is because I knew that I was fighting for freedom of political opinion in Australia, not just for myself. And then also I was fighting for little Arab babies because my mum went during the Civil War and innocent people. During the Civil War, she had to run from, like, her village was very much under assault. She went through rubble picking up the body parts of women. She slept on the floor of the school because they all left their houses because they were targeting certain houses. So I'm like, it's literally in my blood, like that. This hurts everybody, it hurts everybody. Like, I don't believe that anybody is safe.
It's close to home.
And then I was just like,
Right.
it's close to home, but it's also a human thing to do. So I knew that I was like, you know what? There are people who are suffering and whatever. And they don't get me wrong, they put me through hell, and my mental health, took a blow. But I just knew that it was really important. And also, I don't ever think that they thought like a Lebo chick from Maryland's would win.
Yeah.
I think they underestimated me, man.
Oh, man,
100%.
100%. Oh, Antoinette, I got a question. I want to take you back to that moment. You're on your phone. You're doing what you're doing. And you click share.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea this was about to unfold? Like, did you expect it to be?
I knew I was being watched.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to stop doing the right thing.
But this magnitude, the
never.
attention this got.
No. I bet God it was the BBC, New York Times, every Arabic channel, every French
what I'm
channel,
saying.
every this. I had no idea. I also didn't realize I would become a symbol for so many different people for different things. For some people, it's like, you're standing up for free speech, or you're standing up for workplace rights, or you're standing up for anti-war. Like, I somehow managed to represent different things for different people, and I didn't necessarily sign up for it.
Many things.
Yeah, I didn't mean to sign up for any of it, to be honest. But I just I kept pushing, and I had support from a lot of good people, like regular good people, and I knew that most of regular good people were behind me. But oh my gosh, I honestly didn't think I would survive it. It was very hard.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done on the win. You did, justice did prevail.
Yeah, which it doesn't always.
You won the court case. Absolutely, it doesn't always.
They got scared because you're from Maryland.
But yeah, great, 100%. They figured there could be a driveway.
bro. She's
100%.
carrying something.
There's something I want to ask you, Antoinette. So obviously you were deceived, right? That's the greatest betrayal
Yeah.
from your industry.
Yeah.
An industry you loved, an industry you dreamed of, being involved in from the age of 6 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Worked so hard, enrolled yourself into an elective school, right?
Yeah.
To give yourself the best opportunity to be able to go to university.
Yeah.
You go to university, you then get a job, you get shat on,
Yeah.
you get pushed and pulled, and
Then I'm like, it's okay, whatever.
you
going.
keep going and you keep going. But this is ultimate betrayal.
Yeah.
So now,
Not only is it ultimate betrayal of me, what's happening in Israel and what Israel is doing in Lebanon and in Palestine in particular, it's a betrayal of of journalism. It's a betrayal of our craft. We are literally, the majority of my industry is literally doing propaganda for war criminals.
on that point, now that you're an independent journalist, so you've moved away from mainstream media,
Yeah.
does mainstream media, and we know it doesn't influence Antoinette Lattouf now,
Yeah.
right? Because you went head to head with them.
Yeah. I was like, I'm literally blowing the building
Yeah.
up on my way out. Like, I thought about blowing my career up more
Yeah.
specifically on the way out.
Absolutely.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah. Earlier on, now none of us know, our listeners don't know because can't imagine anyone's in mainstream media that follows or listens to us. So just for our knowledge, does a piece of paper get sent to all journalists like yourself, say, right, Antoinette,
No.
this is the story, this is what we're doing? Do they influence?
See, it's not that obvious. Look, I've never worked for like Murdoch Media, which is like Daily Telegraph, The Australian, The Herald Sun. There, you can clearly tell there's an orchestrated there's a hit list of this is how we're doing it. They're trying to influence politics. They try and, they're very partisan. They take a side. They don't care about facts. They were always that way. I've never worked there and I never would because of my ethics and morals. They probably have that kind of like, this is what we're doing, Because I always worked in public broadcasting, SBS and ABC. They're the good guys. The ABC is meant to be of all of the good guys.
They're supposed to be.
That's exactly right. That's what I said on the steps of the court. I said the ABC are meant to be the good guys, and if this is how the good guys are, like it was actually heartbreaking. I felt like everything I believed in evaporated.
Yeah.
And then Channel 10 was the only commercial outlet I worked for, and they were the best of the commercial lot. They were the less tabloid and whatever. So in those instances, no, there was never a paper, but there were gatekeepers at the top. They kind of decide and set that's newsworthy. We decide that is newsworthy. Now, when it comes to lobbyists, that's more behind the scenes. If businesses are lobbying, or pro-Zionist lobbyists are lobbying. They're doing it in ways that I don't see. But I was never told these are the stories we are covering. But the way you might get messages about, like, I'm not sure our audience would resonate with that. Why don't we try and do it this way? But honestly, it wasn't never in my entire career until this story have I seen the industry bend and fold and compromise everything. It's like we're told to pretend we don't see what we see because we see it on our phones, right?
Yeah.
And and they've bombed Lebanon pretty much every day since the ceasefire. Do you think that's covered anywhere?
Nope.
Unless you see Al Jazeera or you watch LBC or something, then you see it.
Yeah.
But I think because of social media, it's made people go, hold a second, this is not true. This is not right.
That's the only good thing that's come out of TikTok.
Yeah.
See it as it's happening.
TikTok is like unfiltered.
Yeah.
Right? And TikTok is probably the worst thing that could have happened to. Am I allowed to use the word Zionist?
No, absolutely use the
Drop
word
it.
Zionist. It's not a slur. It's a political ideology.
Okay.
There's an organisation called the Zionist Federation of Australia. And just a warning, and not to spook you, but the very fact I'm speaking on this podcast, there are probably journalists from The Australian who'll listen. There'll be journalists from Sky News who'll listen. Murdoch owns Sky News too because they're still kind of trying to watch and intimidate anybody who criticises their interests.
Let me tell you, I'm from Punchbowl, right? Bill's from Maryland. You're not going to take us down, let me tell you.
You don't want to see what's under my shirt.
No.
I'm joking.
I don't want to see it either.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Joseph.
I want to ask you one question,
Yeah.
Antoinette, and it's actually just come to me now as you were talking. And please, if this is a no-go, we can just shut me down.
Sure.
COVID.
Yeah.
Did you see COVID for what it was, or did you see it as Antoinette from Maryland's Westie? Did you see how the Southwesties?
Oh, absolutely. And I was the one at that point in my career. So I'm saying I was at the high point of my career. I was freelancing. So I wrote about the different treatments, the disproportionate lockdowns, the mental health impacts, blah, blah, blah. And I think I was at Channel 10 for some of it. And I ended up resigning. I ended up leaving the industry and going fully, not independent, fully freelance.
Yeah.
I was sick of every day being told, and it was another story, you're probably right, where I was like, I have to do another time stand in front of the screen and be like, and there are 423 hospitalizations and 600, do you remember every day?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
What was the name? The one that said it, the glasses, and she had the funny teeth, the old lady?
Oh, the health.
The health, yeah.
Chief health officer or
Yeah.
whatever she was. I was done. Oh, don't get
So that was the thing. That was part of your job description. Read these numbers.
every not only read these numbers, it was decided, it was put in the top of the bulletin every day that that was the first story. The first story was the numbers, and then the second story, like from the studio, you would stand there and you'd be like, and this, and this, and this, and this. And the second story was somebody would go out to a testing. You remember the testing?
Yeah, yeah.
So long. And every day, after a little while, I was like, hold a second, this feels wrong. This feels like there are other stories. This feels like we're missing something. Don't get me wrong. I've never lived in a pandemic. I don't know how to respond, but I'm like, there's other stories. This can't be the only story we need to be telling. We need to be about police overuse of their powers. We need to be talking about mental health. We need to be talking about all the kids at home and the fuck's going on with them. I was trying to homeschool, government overreach, but they're like, oh, no, we'll do a story about how many elderly people in a nursing home. And don't get me wrong, I care about elderly people in a nursing home. But after 1, 2, 3, 700, however many days of those stories, I started to be like, oh, I don't know, man. I feel like there are other stories that need to be told.
Surely there's more. Surely.
100%. Bro. Before we wrap it up, Antoinette.
Okay.
I'm a massive fan of ET Media.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Love Vet Media, eh, bro?
I love it.
How good is that,
Right.
bro? Vet Media.
And by the way, we've got to get this right because they'll come for us in the comments section.
Okay.
It's not a national tour, right?
It's an
East Coast.
tour. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
We did say national, and people from Perth and Adelaide were so dirty. And to be fair, we're not going to Perth and Adelaide this time. We're going to Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne and Canberra. But yeah, so Jeanette Francis and I, Jan Fran is her kind of public name. We're both journalists. We're both Lebanese. She's Jeanette. I'm Antoinette.
That's where ET
comes from. But we both, in the past couple of years, feel completely betrayed by an industry that we've committed our entire careers to, and feel completely betrayed by the way it's covering, the way it treats Lebanese and Palestinian lives, the way it treats our human rights, the way it treats our ability to live safely in this country and express whatever political or whatever view we have. And so we decided we're like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not being part of that. We're at a point in our careers and our lives, we're like, we're not being part of that machine anymore. Not with what it's spouting, not with what it's done, especially not after what it did to me. And so we started an independent media company because we think there are people who, think like us, who are skeptical, who are critical, who want to stay informed. And so, again, I have, trying to start something different and new. There hasn't been anybody kind of like us or doing
nothing. There's nothing like it.
Nah, so
nothing like it.
So we're
And what I love about what you girls are doing. There used to be this program, Antoinette. Hopefully, you can help me. I think it was on SBS. It was at nights, and it was this old guy with glasses. He used to always talk about a particular article.
Media Watch.
Media Watch.
So it was at ABC, and
ABC. Okay. So
I used to work there as a researcher early in my career.
Okay.
And I loved it. So we are like the Media Watch for social media, as in for a younger generation, and we swear a bit.
That is exactly the vibe I get.
Yeah.
Right. It's a Media Watch type kind of pod.
Yeah.
But even you start calling out your ex-colleagues not colleagues, but like
on
tabloids.
On certain issues or topics. We pull even about issues and stories.
Even their wording.
Yeah.
Their wording, like there was one, there was a father that killed a husband that murdered his wife. And
a father who shot his daughter.
His daughter, sorry.
Yeah, it was a domestic violence story, and the headline was "Well-regarded father." They talked about how he was well-regarded, and then in the headline, like the little paragraph underneath, it also reiterated that he was well-regarded, and then the next paragraph, well-regarded, and the first time you hear from a neighbour, so 4 times they've told you this guy's a good bloke.
Wow, bro!
He just happened to shoot his daughter.
Oh, that's bro, that'll do me.
That's media, man.
But also, that guy was a white guy called Jason or Michael. I bet your life, if it was an Aboriginal or a Pacific Islander or a Lebo, they 100% wouldn't be.
Middle Eastern man.
Middle Eastern appearance. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Monster. Which is fine. I think if someone shoots their daughter, they probably are a monster.
You are a monster, but fuck. But keep it consistent. And when that came up, it's mind blowing. I love. I've said it. Probably I've said it too many times. I'm loving what you girls are doing.
What's the name of the podcast?
We used to be journos.
We used to be journos.
Because we obviously still.
I knew that. I was just wanting to let listeners
we used
know
to
that.
be journos. Et Media is our independent media company. We're growing, hiring more people, going on tour, and essentially we want to be that success story and pave that path. Because there are a lot of younger journos now who have said to me, like, I grew up watching you. We asked me, who did you grow up? And they're kind of looking at what happened to me and going, fuck, like, do I belong? Some are in the industry and their heart is broken and their morals are compromised, but they're like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So I guess Jen and I feel a bit of a responsibility to try something.
So this is going to come up. This is going to blow up, I reckon.
I hope so, inshallah.
Can you talk to us about what this tour is about?
Yeah.
So what's going to be involved?
Yeah, sure. It's not going to be a live podcast. It's going to be us. Obviously, we'll talk about the ABC, but we're going to do it in a fun. I know it's so very traumatic, but a lot of the public and audience want to know, like, what happened? How did you do it? Blah, blah, blah. We'll do a bit of like news analysis, like headline stuff, like with the audience where they can engage. We'll have a high-profile person we interview. So, like in Melbourne, we have Nazim Hussain, the comedian.
Oh, he's funny guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Yeah. We haven't announced the other ones. Jan will kill me if I announce it too early. I was just about to tell you this.
Off camera.
We'll have some comedians, some rappers. So it'll be kind of like a magazine-style show. But the theme, obviously, we are the center of it, and it's for people who feel that they're being lied to. They're a bit just like don't trust what's going on. They feel like they're going crazy, but they still care about the world and they still care about being informed and they want to feel like they're not alone. So that's what the show will be about.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Antoinette, thank you so much.
Thank you for having a safe space, and honestly, I feel like all we need is the canon in front of us.
100%. Hey.
We'll do it one day, I promise you. We'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You will be invited, you and Jan Fran,
yeah.
to our 100th episode.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have it on the rooftop.
Don't give away too much.
Yeah.
Bro, they haven't seen the roof.
Yeah, true.
We haven't even seen the rooftop. It is going to be a special one.
Amazing.
And there's going to be our past guests.
Yeah. You
And we'd love to have you and Jan. Sorry, Jan. As we're talking, I'm going, should have had Jan come on.
Well, you can have her another time. She's got
But,
her whole own story and trajectory and stuff to talk about.
sure.
But what you girls are doing, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. We absolutely back you. We're so proud of you girls. And you're making us Australian Lebanese
Thank you so much.
so proud. So
Thank
proud.
you. So my kids are texting me, so I have to run.
Do what you got to do.
Okay.
Guys, thank you very much for tuning in for another week. Once again, Antoinette, thank you for going against the grain and putting our little community on the map and doing exactly what you're doing. Guys, thank you to our sponsors coming up right now, Dan and Mic'd Up. Until next week, Joseph,
William,
we'll see you later.
take care.
Bye-bye.
It's the
Bye.
BillyJoe Podcast, where the truth gets told. Stories from the heart, yeah, the vibe is bold. Talking real life, breaking through the pain. Every single episode, a change in the game. Billy and Joe, they bring the real talk. From the struggles and the wins to the late night walks. Voices of the people putting truth on blast. No filters, no masks, just facts that last. They shine a little light when the world feels cold. Conversations raw, turning stories to gold. From mental health battles to the dreams we chase.